Hello, my name is Paul Rutherford and I have been invested in Xcite Energy since May 2010. I first came across the company in a small article in the Daily Mail, and after doing more research decided that Xcite Energy and the Bentley field was something that I should be invested in. The purpose of today's short film is for you to hear from a small sample and cross-section of your investors as to why they invested in Xcite, their views on management's beliefs and their expectations of you. The shareholder group is invested in excess of 4.8 million shares in the company. The purpose of the shareholder group is to get the company to recognise us as a unit and a voice and to assist Xcite Energy going forward. We want to address the issues that are based in communications and to review management's beliefs in the Bentley field. We would like to see management communicate these beliefs again, quickly and effectively. Our expectations are simple. We wish to be able to work with you so that you may better present information to private investors in simple, easy to understand terms. We believe that in doing this, you will reassure both existing and new investors of this investment opportunity. To this end, we hope and expect Xcite to proactively step forward and eliminate the near silence that has existed since the release of the Reserve's assessment report on the 10th of May, which saw such a catastrophic fall in the share price.
My name is Peter Collins. I have 22,657 shares and I first invested in Xcite Energy back in September 2010.
Okay, my name is Peter Rose. I hold just over 96,000 shares in my pension fund and I started investing last October.
My name's James Fricker. I own approximately 5,100 shares. I've been invested since August 2010.
My name's Terry Nielsen. I hold 30,000 shares in my SIP and I've a couple of thousand in a CFD account, and I first got involved in Xcite about 9 or 10 months ago.
My name is Claire Shields and I hold 14,883 shares in Xcite Energy. I was a long-standing investor in AMEC, and in April 2010 AMEC were appointed to do consultancy work on the Bentley oil field. I started my research from that point and I found the whole story about the abandoned North Sea oil field pretty compelling.
I'd seen the meteoric rise of the shares and I thought, well, that's quite interesting.
And it struck me that it was a very good risk in terms of low risk and a very good high return.
This was a company that was going places.
I watched the oil barrel presentation in January and was impressed with the assertion that the share price could double or treble from that point on what was considered a fairly safe bet.
Certainly the oil barrel presentation was very, very enthusiastic, and that made me feel very comfortable about the investment.
I've never really watched anything so inspirational, so bold. I increased my holding substantially. I put in another £65,000.
And it was a very, very confusing sort of presentation as far as I was concerned. I couldn't make head nor tail of it.
Well, my first reaction was, is that it? Have I made a mistake?
I was a little bit surprised there were nowhere near the sort of 200 million barrels that we might have been expecting.
The bold claims in the presentation didn't seem to be backed up by the RNS.
Every single broker report says that this is massively undervalued. I just want the board to come out and defend the stock.
Well, I'm obviously very disappointed that it's gone the wrong way, but I genuinely believe that it was a subject of a city bear raid, or whatever they want to call it.
I still feel comfortable about it going forward, but I'd just like to hear a bit more from the board about the disconnect between the oil barrel enthusiasm and what's happened in the reserves report.
I think the PR has not been too good. I'm glad to see that they brought in some heavyweights recently, and that the change of personnel in that may well help.
I'd like the board to come out and defend the share price. I think they should do another presentation.
And I want the board to come out and say that everything's good, and to basically encourage new investors to come on board, and also to give the current investors peace of mind really, because at the moment this share is in freefall.
Do they still remain as enthusiastic about the what's going on? You know, I would just like to understand. I can understand the regulators and the reserves report's got to be very, very cautious, but I would just like to hear a bit more from them. Are they still as optimistic as they were, as they said, at oil barrel? I'm not an oil expert, so I don't understand all the detail about what goes on. And it would just be nice to be told. I mean, for example, at the moment, I think there's some surveys going on the North Sea very soon. I'd like to know what that's for. So I'd just like to be told a little bit more.
I want the board to come on a PR offensive.
Get your PR right, and it's not been very clever.
My wife says to me at times, you know, why didn't you tell me something? Well, I didn't think it was important, darling. So I think it's a bit like the board. Don't treat me like I treat my wife would be the message.
I hope this short film has given you a small flavour of why 4.8 million shares have been invested in both you and our Bentley asset. The tremendous expectation that you set, not unreasonably so, is what has encouraged these investors to place, relatively speaking, large capital sums in Xcite. Many people in the group feel let down by the conflicting messages that have been delivered through the company's PR and the devastating effect this has had on the share price. Many people have placed their faith in you and will continue to do so, but require you to deliver absolute clarity on previously held views and messages delivered. Trax has independently delivered a value of around £5.20 a share based on NPV10, Oriel a net asset value of £3.83, and Edison stayed a conservative £3.20, rising to 400p, fair value on DEC approval and funding confirmed. The company's fundamental goal has to be to realise this value in the present as it did recently, and that was without the support of 2p reserves. The group and I would like to offer you our support wherever possible. Equally, with near 3% support of the issued share capital, there may be other ways in which we could be beneficial to you. The Xcite team and its partners have done an excellent job on the well and flow tests under testing conditions. Your own spirit, belief and asset recognition took this stock to a high of £4.31, for which you should rightfully be commended. It is our belief, and I'm sure that it is yours too, that this share price should still be around these levels in recognition of the whole Bentley field. Our goal is to support you and actively work with you to fill this gap in overall asset value and the current discounted share price. As private investors, we would like to work with you now to deliver your next media message to arrest the decline and to once again reassure investors' minds on why this stock is such a very strong buy. Thank you.